Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Bonnie Forward Show. My name is Bonnie Forward, and I am your host. During these past few years of COVID, I finally made the decision to develop and launch my very own show. It has taken me decades of deliberating about doing this, but with an overwhelming number of people suggesting it repeatedly over the years, I knew I had to do it, and this was the time. With a Hollywood history as rich as mine, I have a lot of stories because I know a lot of people. I am a third-generation Californian, born and raised in an entertainment family in Los Angeles in the 1950s. Because of my dad, who started on radio in San Francisco in 1938 and went on to work in television as well when television was invented in the late 1940s. I feel extremely blessed to have grown up on sound stages, going to radio stations, going to music studio sound booths. I was exposed to so much wonderful and happy things in the entertainment business. Where we lived in Brentwood, I was surrounded by television and film stars, both on set and at home. It was my normal. I lived in a neighborhood surrounded by nothing but celebrities. I have spent my entire life learning everything about being both in front of the camera and behind it. I'm a veteran acting coach, and 30 years ago, using all original scripts from the two top-rated soap operas in the world, The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful, both created by the husband and wife team of William J. Bell and Lee Phillip Bell, I became the only acting coach ever to establish her own acting school with an emphasis on soap opera. But enough about me. As my first guest on my very first show, I am so grateful and pleased to be bringing to you an exclusive interview with the multi-talented Ms. Miche Braden. For those of you who may have been living under a rock or haven't yet seen the newest series from Shonda Rhimes on Netflix called Inventing Anna, that everybody has been talking about all over the world, watch it immediately. Do not pass go. Do not collect $500. Go straight to Netflix and check it out. You'll be so glad that you did. Inventing Anna is hot, hot, hot right now, and so is the press that my guest is receiving. In the new Netflix series, Miche Braden plays a prison officer, but not just any prison officer. Let this description from Cosmopolitan sum Mickey's role up for you. Twitter, this is a quote, Twitter has been full of people discussing the Shonda Rhimes series, which stars Ozark's Julia Garner in the lead role. And there's one person plenty of fans feel was the standout character from the series. The title goes to the prison officer played by Miche Braden in the scenes at Rikers Island, New York's main jail complex, partly due to her character and also thanks to her Euphoria-esque eyeshadow game. Unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present in my exclusive interview the glitter shadow officer herself, the one and only Ms. Miche Braden. Welcome to the show, Miche.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Doing good.
Excellent. Okay, so let me start off by asking you a bunch of questions.
Okay.
Take us through the process of how you got cast as the glitter shadow officer.
Well, I got the letter from my agents about auditioning for this piece, and I went into New York. I think it was the Lower East Side, as a matter of fact. I went to a casting office, which was kind of odd because it wasn't like in New York in Times Square where others are. It was on the Lower East Side in somebody's apartment. So I went into a room. I read this the script, the lines, and then I got a call later within a couple days, and I had gotten the role.
That is so exciting. What did you think of the series script when you first saw it?
Well, I only got to see my lines, for the reading, for the audition. So I didn't know much except that it was a Shondaland production. And Shonda Rhimes, oh yes. Oh, I'm gonna get this. That's what I was thinking. So I said, whatever it is, I'm gonna do this
Absolutely.
one.
Absolutely. What was it like working with Shonda Rhimes?
I unfortunately didn't get a chance to meet her or work with her. But I really enjoyed the staff. Everybody was so great. I hadn't been on anything like that before. I had done other TV shows, but nothing like that. And it was just really great, just watching how people work together. I really enjoyed myself.
Did you know that can never say her name right. Anna Chlumsky was cast in Los Angeles when she happened to be there for only one day as the role
Oh,
of the
lucky
journalist.
her.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I know that you interacted with her. What was that like?
Oh, she was really cool. She used to needlepoint and cross stitch, while we were sitting in our individual shower things because we had plastic around us, and that was after we started taping for when COVID was going on. But she was really nice. I liked her.
So what were your shooting dates and locations amidst COVID? What was that like and how
Well,
long? I mean,
I did my first couple days in 2019, December, and that was before COVID. Then it was a break for a year, and then we went back in, had to start taking tests, had to go in to get tests done and go into New York, that is.
mhm.
And they had us in masks, they had us in separate dressing areas. We had to keep our mask on, until it's time. And we would rehearse with the mask on. Then they say, all right, mask off, everybody takes it off, and we do the scenes. So they were being very, very careful. Matter of fact, you had to get a COVID test before going in for fitting, before going to the shoot. Each time that you had to be someplace, you had to get a test, and so they were being very, very careful.
Well, that's good
Yes.
as they should be. What locations did they use with a whole year in between? I mean,
Right. Well, in the first one I went to was in Queens. There was a building there. I think it may have been a former hospital, but they had some rooms set up for like prison cells. They had the waiting room area where I did all my scenes, and it was wonderful. They had this huge room for the craft services. The food was so good. It wasn't funny, but it was very nice. They had the dressing areas were in trailers, maybe about little less than half a mile from the set. But then when we went to the COVID, when we started taping, then we were in Staten Island, and I think it was a former prison. But they had created that waiting room where I did my scenes. It was exact. It was
wow.
wonderful just to see the workmanship that they did. You wouldn't even know that you were in a different place. That you were not in Queens where I started. It was really amazing.
Set designers are the best. They
Oh, they
really
are. They
they
are.
they deserve every accolade possible. Who created your particular character as a glitter shadow officer, and why do you think?
Shonda Rhimes wrote the character
Nice,
as the glitter shadow officer. That's what I auditioned for.
nice.
You know, I a lot of people thought that I created that look, that I put the makeup on,
Yes.
and but no, it was written in. She was very methodical about what she did.
And it absolutely differentiated you from any of the other guards. That was amazing. Take us through the makeup and costume process. What was it like wearing that awesome eyeshadow every day?
Well, I had to ride into Brooklyn and have test makeup done. And they had to take me into a room where one of the producers was to check and see if they liked it. If they didn't, we had to go back to the drawing board and put on more or try a different color. And, we went back and forth maybe 3 or 4 times. You know, but that was fun. The makeup and hair people were just really great. They just really great at their jobs.
And it's their job to make you comfortable, which is wonderful. And
Yes, yes.
they
And
obviously did
they're
that.
going to make it exactly the way it should be done, the way that they want it. And that was amazing just seeing the particular things that you have to do, the little bitty things, just to be able to get uh, the makeup, the costume, the hair, everything had to be just right.
What was it like wearing uniform?
Now, that was an ugly thing. That thing was heavy, it was ugly, but it was kind of cold, so I was glad to have it on. That
Okay.
was ugly.
No offense to any of the officers out there that might be watching.
No, 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 it was ugly. It
Have
was
you
ugly.
have you ever gone out in public recently and been recognized?
No, no. I guess, if you don't have on the same wig or the same eyeshadow or something, no.
Yeah.
Because you usually didn't see anything but from here up, basically. So, no, nobody has recognized me except for the friends and family that saw the show, which was wonderful because all of a sudden I just woke up and saw this thing with Cosmo talking about the glitter shadow officer. I said, my goodness, what is this?
Yeah, it's very exciting. You've gotten a
It
lot
was.
of press, a lot of positive press. That's wonderful. A lot of people taking notice. It's great. How would you say that singing music and performing on stage translates to working on television?
There is a melodic sense to acting with talking even, because you do have ups and downs when you talk for emotional
Yeah.
and uh it's I can't say it's the same, of course not, but I would always have my students when I would teach them with singing, I'd ask them to, you're telling a story, but you're doing it with a melody. So
Yeah.
you have to give me, like you're having a conversation, but you're singing it, to make it
Yeah.
conversational or
Yeah.
whatever. So it felt really comfortable. It felt easy, to be able to do that.
Yeah. That's great. As it should. I mean, it's supposed to be fun. Well, as one of the greatest singers, musical theater performers, and television actors that I have ever had the pleasure to know.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Please tell our viewing audience about Miche Braden, the woman behind the glitter shadow officer.
Well, I grew up in Detroit. I was raised by some of the best musicians in the world, including my mother, who, she would let me do anything that had to do with music. I wound up playing piano, upright bass, flute. Anytime I wanted to do something, dance, she
Wow.
let me. She
Wow.
let me do that. But I also studied with some of the greatest musicians in Detroit, jazz musicians, funk musicians, R&B. I was a protege of Earl Van Dyke, who was the head of the Funk Brothers of Motown. And I learned a lot as far as music and arranging with him and so many others there. And it was very easy for me to get into theater because I would always put music as something. I love listening to sound tracks and soundscapes. I love doing that. Quincy Jones was like my favorite. So I used to study his stuff. But
Mhm.
then I got into acting. And the first who was the first? Well, Dinah Washington, a friend of mine. I was in dance company, Clifford Fear's Dance Theater, and he did a piece called Blue Suite, which was about Dinah Washington. So that was the first diva that I played. Then I started playing Ma Rainey, then Billie Holiday. That Billie Holiday moved me to New York.
Oh,
I
wow.
was able I was able to go to Philadelphia, well, Pennsylvania. I played it at People's Light and Theater Company, and then the next thing I know, I moved to Brooklyn, and then I just kept playing. I did 8 productions of Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill, the same one that Audra Day did such an amazing job. Um, and I have played Bessie Smith, which is my favorite. I was a co-creator on that one with Angelo Pera, who wrote it, and Joe Brancato, who conceived it and directed it. And I did all the music arrangements and even
Wow.
wrote 3 songs for the show.
Wow.
So I have been doing music all my life, and my latest is Marie and Rosetta, about Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who was the godmother of rock and roll. She was a guitarist. And so many people listened to her and kind of copied her style. She's the one that kind of created it. Even though she was gospel, she also did jazz. So it was a story about her singing partner, Marie Knight, and Sister Rosetta Tharpe. And it's an amazing piece. It just shows you how the music progressed from the time that they had started and to the time that um, their partnership ended.
What
But
year, what span of years was that? Like 19,
actually,
what
Marie and
to?
Rosetta were mid 40s. They only were really together about 4 or 5 years.
Okay. In the
You know,
1940s?
yeah, but they did some wonderful stuff.
Mhm.
I've been listening to her music a lot lately, and just listening to the jazz in it, listening to just how the music it's all one, it's the same to a degree.
Mhm.
The music, jazz and gospel, all of it comes from the same place and it comes from the heart, you know. So it's wonderful. I've had a chance to play these divas and be able to learn even more about music and their approach to it, what in their life created the music that it did. And I have I've done everything, just gone up, with working on that.
Who's inspired you? Is like Nina Simone one of your favorite
Nina
inspirations?
Simone is one of my favorites because that was my mama's favorite. My
Oh,
mother was a musician.
uh-huh.
She used to play for the churches, and my father was the choir director, and he also had an amazing tenor voice. So I got it natural. My sister, she married a drummer. uh,
It runs in the
so
family.
music is just, my uncle was one of my co-stars in the Devil's Music, The Life and Blues of Bessie Smith.
Uh-huh.
So it was just music, art, creativity all the time.
Runs in your veins,
Oh yeah.
deep in your veins. I love it. What other shows, TV shows, of course, have you done in the past where we might have seen you?
I've done 2 episodes of Law and Order, I believe season 3 and season 10, I believe. I've done
Did you play the same character?
um yeah, receptionist. For whatever reason, they like making me a receptionist, sitting behind the desk. Here I was again in Inventing Anna, sitting behind a desk.
In a bulletproof
So I guess
booth.
I'm the desk sitter. As long as it pays, I don't care. I will sit there. I will do what you need me to do. Put it on my face. I don't care. I will do that.
And
But
it
yeah,
and
so
in
Law and
inventing.
Order, both of those, I was basically a receptionist.
Uh-huh.
Um, I did recently the other two. That's that's an HBO Max show, and it was just a real quick something. It's
Mhm.
on my actor reel if anybody looks it up. Um,
It's
I
called
have
it's called
done
The Other Two.
the other two.
What's it about?
I believe it's about a talk show host,
Oh,
and she has a show, and she's very popular, and people just love her. That's it. That's it.
it was
That's
based on
it.
me.
I did a show called Stella,
What is
which
that
was
about?
3 guys like the Three Stooges, and
Okay.
they had a little comedy troupe, and they had one season on Comedy Central, and
Okay.
I was on a show of theirs.
Mhm.
Um, let's see.
That must have been fun and funny to do.
It was. They found out that I could sing, and one of the scenes they had me ad-libbing on top
Oh,
of whatever they were doing, something crazy. It was just I love comedy.
yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
puts me in a comedy show, yeah, I'm gonna do
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Especially improv. That's so much
Oh
fun.
yeah,
It's just
yeah.
right off the cuff, as they
Right,
say.
right. I've also worked with not in TV but video, YouTube. I was a YouTube sensation doing Sweet Child of Mine with Postmodern Jukebox. The first week we got over 1 million views,
I love
and
it.
to date we have over 11 million
I
on
love
that
it.
one particular one. But I have six
I
that
love
I've
it.
done with Scott Bradley and Postmodern Jukebox.
I love it. I love it. Everybody, I posted a link
Okay.
to Mickey's page, and you guys can click on that and have a ball looking at everything she's done. What shows have you got coming up where we can see you in future?
Well, in a couple weeks, there's a show that Bull on CBS.
Mhm.
Uh, the scene that I'll be doing, I think it's the sixth season, 15th episode. I'm in that one, and I'm also behind a desk.
Don't put Mickey in the corner.
Hey, that's all right. They've given the check. Spell my name right. I don't care. You call it what you want. But
And by the
and
way, to all of our listeners out there, that episode of Bull airs on Thursday, March 17th,
okay.
10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check your local listings and enjoy Mickey's performance. And what else do you have coming up for us?
I will be in an episode of Evil with Michael Coulter. Oh, that he played Luke Cage.
Oh,
My God,
yeah.
he is
Oh, I
so
love that
fine.
guy.
He
I
is
love him.
so fine.
Yeah. He's a big
But
guy.
that doesn't come out until this summer, the
Okay.
third season.
And that's going to be streaming on CBS also?
Paramount, I believe.
Paramount Plus and CBS?
Yeah.
Oh, God. To work with that man, he's a big guy. I mean, I assume he hasn't slimmed down since his Luke Cage.
No, he's still gorgeous as the Dickens.
He's
Just
I mean,
too
he's a
gorgeous.
big guy. I mean, he's
Yeah, he is. He is. But
Yeah.
he's nice. He's very nice.
But big guys always are, aren't they? They're just so.
Yeah, well, no, but
No, I mean, Jason Momoa, he's a super nice guy.
yes, now that's one I want to meet.
There's so many of them out there. You're
Yeah, there are.
so lucky to be able to have worked with all the people that you've worked with. You want to
It
drop
has been great. It
you want
really
to drop
has.
any more names?
Well, actually, before Coleman Domingo got all of his movies and other accolades for Fear the Walking Dead, he was in a show that I did the musical direction for called The People's Temple.
Oh, okay.
And I think he did some writing in the show, but this was in Berkeley, California.
And that's about
We did it in 2005.
That was about
So I had a chance to work with him.
So
also,
that was the Jim
Jessica
Jones.
Betts, huh?
That was the Jim Jones
Yes.
massacre, the People's Temple. Okay, that was for those.
And,
those who are watching that don't know, Jim Jones.
Yes.
Formed a cult and took everybody down to South America, and
that was a very sad story, especially looking at the history of it from studying the piece, because the show was wonderful. I have Lee Fondakowski. She's the one that also did Laramie Project.
Oh yeah,
yeah, yes. I've met Jessica Betts, who's now married to Niecy Nash.
Okay.
They're the first same-sex couple on the cover of Essence.
Oh, nice.
But I knew her. I knew her in New York and New Jersey. She had come to the church that I was playing at the time and performed for us. So it's so good to see your friends doing wonderful things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know they cheer you on too, with the same enthusiasm, because I mean, you're famous. And you have worked with an awful lot of people all over the world, right?
Yes, I have. I've been to Europe, to Japan, you name it. I've just been all over the place. I've been to 47 of the 50 states here.
Wow. That's a
There's a
lot.
couple more I want to go to, but I so enjoy doing it. You know, people really respond to music and to maybe just good shows, something that will give them some hope, maybe. You know, learn something about some historical person. Might be just like you. Maybe you can take that and become something of your own. You know, I love being able to do that.
Well, people are so fortunate to be able to see you do that.
Thank you,
If
Bonnie.
I may, it's true. Well, I know you're a busy woman, Mickey, and you have a lot to do. So I thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, sure. Thank you for asking.
Well, you have graciously agreed to be my first guest. You were my guinea pig, my test. You know, I love you.
You know, I
And
love you too.
thank you. We will talk soon. Thanks so much again.
All right. You take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye. You will all be seeing a lot more of Mickey in future broadcasts because she's going to make a wonderful co-host as she has agreed to become available as she can, as her schedule allows. Another reason to stay tuned to the Bonnie Forward Show. Well, that's our show today. I thank you so much for tuning in to the premiere episode of the Bonnie Forward Show. I can't say that enough. I love the sound of my own name. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And stay tuned because you never know when and what you're going to get. Love and light, stay in your power, and peace out.